So, blog entry 2, apparently. Um, I think that I only ever get to do this because I find myself completely out of it, and then I feel like I have something that could be entertaining for someone to watch. It is, according to the clock behind me, 4:17 in the morning. Um, if you want to ask why I'm awake at 4:17 in the morning, probably good that you don't, just because I have no good answer. But yeah, it is Friday. It is Friday the 17th at 4:17. Oh, nope. Now it's 4:18 in the morning. Yeah, I was. I'm a lot more exhausted than I was the last time that we did this whole like video blog thing. And again, I kid you not, it is really distressing how I'm staring at this tiny little circle. But let's not dwell on that because I did that for like 5 minutes last time, which is pretty much half of the thing. Anyway, so I had work last night, and yeah, it was. I went to bed yesterday morning. Shush! I went to bed yesterday morning at like, I don't even know. It's like 7 o'clock or something. So I went to bed at like 7 o'clock a.m. and I was just gonna take a nap. I was gonna get up at like 9:30. And I was gonna get some homework done and head after class. Well, it did not happen. That didn't happen at all. Actually, what happened was I woke up half an hour into my class at 1 o'clock. I had set like 18 alarms. I kid you not, with 3 different devices. And they were all right next to me, so you'd expect that, I'd wake up to them, especially since they're blaring in my ear, and nope, I slept right through all of it. It was great. And I woke up at like 1:30 or something, and I'm like, I don't, what? And so I'm trying to get ready I'm trying to motivate myself to get up off the couch, because that's where I took my nap. I took my nap on the couch, not even in my own bed, but on the couch. I'm on the couch and I'm trying to motivate myself to sit up and get ready for work because I have to be at work later. And for like the next 4 hours, 3 hours, my mind is replaying this conversation that I had with the manager the day before. She's like, okay, you're gonna be here right at 4:30, right? There's no reason you're gonna be late. You're just gonna be there right at 4:30. And I'm like, yeah, there's absolutely no reason that I should be late. And for whatever reason, for 3 hours of this conversation, these 2 statements are just on repeat, like on skip. I'm just thinking this, and I'm not even really noticing that I'm thinking this, but it's just going and going and going and going, and it's not done. And I'm looking at the clock and I'm measuring the time. I'm like, okay, so I have this long to get there, and then I'm like, that's fine. I'm gonna get there at 4:30, and I keep reassuring myself, like on an almost subconscious level, reassuring myself that yeah, you're gonna be there at 4:30. Then I look at the clock, and he's like, no, because if you leave now, you're gonna be like 40 minutes early. I had nothing else to do, so I got everything together and I left. And still, the conversation is playing in my head, and I have this weird sensation in the back of my neck, and all I can feel is like I've missed something very important. Not necessarily like I forgot something or forgot to do something, but just that I have missed a very important detail, and I don't know what it is. And I'm almost to 94, which for most of you who are watching this, you have no idea what that means. It's a big, it's like the loop. Actually, that's exactly what it's like. It's like the loop. So, and for the rest of you who have no idea who I am and what I'm talking about, the loop is a gigantic road in Texas. Okay, it's a gigantic road, and it's a type of road in Texas. They're huge, gigantic loops that go around like several cities. I don't even know. It's dumb. Anyway, and so I'm getting on to. I just come to the exit to this big road, 94, and I happen to glance at the clock. And I've had this conversation running through my head that you're going to be there at 4:30. Absolutely, I'm going to be there at 4:30. There's no reason I'm going to be late. Well, I look at the clock, it's 4 o'clock. I drive 53 miles one direction to go to work. It takes me about an hour to get there. Assuming that there's nothing wrong with my car, I don't have to gas up on the way, there's no stupid people on the, like, assuming that nothing goes wrong and I'm speeding, I'll get there in about an hour. I'm just leaving my city, which takes 15 minutes to get out of the city. I'm just leaving the city, and it's 4 o'clock. This is bad news. And so I'm freaking out, and I'm like, how did this happen? How did I miss this? How did I calculate and have this conversation playing in my head and still miss this? I felt very stupid. I don't miss things like that. That's a very obvious thing. But whatever, I missed it. And a little while after I got to work, I look at the schedule because I was going to see who opens, because I work at the coffee shop and I was closing the store, so I wanted to see who I was closing and who's going to be opening the next morning so that I know, if there are any extra things that I need to do so that I don't get in trouble, depending on who it is. They have little pet things. And so I looked at the schedule and I just happened to notice that my shift started half an hour after I was supposed to be there. So even though I was late, I technically wasn't late, and so my mind is just like exploding, like, what happened? I have no idea what's going on. Like we said last time, I just go. I'm tired, and so I can just go. It is not a big deal. Like, it's whatever. But I'm barely thinking right now. And so I'm at work, and I buy 4 cookies. They're huge. Hold on. They're pretty big cookies. Like, they're about, they're notably large cookies. I had a cookie at one point, the same kind of cookie from work, and I was sitting in, like, a commons area at my university, and I was sitting with this friend, and I just pulled a cookie out. I was hungry, so I was going to eat this cookie. So I pulled out the cookie, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, TZ, you can't just pull out a gigantic cookie out of your backpack like it's no big deal. You have to warn me." Okay. Warning, children, I'm pulling a gigantic cookie out of a paper bag. Don't have a heart attack. Anyway, so I'm at work, and I'm getting these 4 cookies. Well, that's a great idea. I like cookies. That's probably going to be somebody's status, I guarantee it. Anyway, I like cookies. And what I forgot was that I'm going to be doing the fasting LTE with the interns right now, which means starting 4.5 hours ago till 12:01 Monday morning, there will not be eating. Okay, fine, no big deal. Where on earth is the logic in buying 4 huge cookies? Because now they are sitting in this bag and I'm fasting, and it's like, listen, I want that cookie really bad, but I can't, and it's not okay. But that's okay. I'm just talking now. Anyway, the last time this video was viewed off of YouTube, because, somebody was actually on YouTube and actually watched it, which I kind of thought was interesting. I didn't really ever expect to see that happen. Anyway, you all have been watching this you've watched the first one from, more than likely, the weird one with the website off Google with the weird name. Well, I decided that for what I was going to be doing anyway, and what I was starting to already add to this website, that is just a waste of time to call it that, so I just created it, and I didn't even like it because it looked really creepy. So I switched it, and I have this whole new one, which will probably be taglined at the base of this when I upload it to YouTube anyway. And anybody watching this and they're not watching it directly off of YouTube, you already know all of this because you're sitting there watching it on the website that I'm talking about. So I suppose that is about 45 seconds of your life you're never getting back, because I just walked myself in a circle telling you things that you already know. So that was fun. Anyway, so a friend of mine has to get up for work, And because part of the Honor Academy's fasting LTE, or life transforming event, is they also do a silence LTE, basically, which is for 3 days you do not communicate with anyone other than God. Like it's to close off the distractions. And please know, for people who are not interns, I realize how this sounds. It's not as ridiculous as it seems. For 3 days, just 3 days, we are not communicating with each other. We're not texting, we're not on Facebook, we're not on emails, we're not working, so we're not on the phones talking to people, we're not calling people, we're not talking to the people that walk by us, we're not speaking to any people anywhere. We are praying. And you can pray out loud just as long as there's not someone else around you, because then you're distracting them. And I realize that this sounds a little odd, but actually it has some really great value. Like I've seen the people that have come out of it the last time we did it, and it's just like, man, it's really cool just to completely focus absolutely every aspect of your life onto Christ and just worship and pray and don't you're not even able to get distracted by all the other stuff going on because you're so focused, and there are no distractions really. Like, you're not texting, you're not on Facebook, there's nobody trying to get your attention, nobody's calling you, your phone's not blowing up at 3 in the morning, none of that's going on. Well, obviously, I'm not doing that. That would be very difficult to do at my job. I have to talk to people a lot, and it would not go well. And I work tonight, and I work on Sunday. This is not plausible. And I have class, and I have a meeting, and there's just all this stuff that requires me to speak, and there's no legitimate way to do it. So, as you've noticed, I'm not doing that because I've been talking for the last 12 minutes and 21 seconds. And so, like I said, for the 18th billionth time, because I apparently have this habit of repeating myself superfluously, I'm not partaking in the whole silence vow thing. So I decided to have a friend of mine come over for a little while because we were just going to chill because, well, most of the people that I talk to are in Texas. Most of those Texans aren't actually Texans, they're interns. And so almost everyone that I communicate with on like a social level has taken a vow of silence where they will not be looking at their phones, they will not be making phone calls, they will not be checking Facebook. That means, like it or not, for 3 days I will have very, 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 very little social interaction. Kind of not excited about that. But nevertheless, it's fine, it will happen, life will move on, and on Sunday I will talk to them again and it will be great. But I decided that, this has got to happen because I'm going 3 days without most of my social interaction. So I had my friend come over, and they're just chilling at my dining room table for a little bit, and then they started getting really sleepy. So it's like, okay, go in. I prepped my room. I said, sleep. I have to wake them up in half an hour so that they can go to work. It's weird life. College is a strange place. But yeah, they're sleeping in the room right next to me right now. In my room, sleeping. They will be taking a shower soon. This is going to get really strange. I have no legitimate reason to have told you that. I have no legitimate reason to have told you anything that I've told you. Hopefully this is at least in some measure entertaining, because if it's not, then this has been a waste of a lot of time. And I'm fairly certain that I just got cut off by 30 seconds. So, I'm going to stop talking now because I'm pretty sure you're not going to hear it anyway. Nevertheless, that was my 13 minutes. Au revoir.